so surely her uneasiness of this morning would pass. Of course, Mary Ingles knew, a woman's feelings are at their most unsettled, their most skittish, when she is full of the humors of childbearing. She tried to smile away her anxiety. Even William had made light of it this morning, as he often made light of women's fears. This morning he had passed it off just that way, as the spookishness of a mother-to-be. "Must he go?" she had asked him after their Sunday morning prayers, when the valley had still been full of the shadow of the ridge. I be afraid, a wee bit." And William Ingles had hesitated here in this cabin door, with his cradle scythe over one shoulder, a bag of hoe cake and a water gourd over the other. He had never before heard Mary profess fear in the daytime. "Why afraid?" he had said then, with that joshing smile of his, looking down at her swollen middle. "When Tommy and Georgie come, you squiz 'em out slick as a grape pep. And your ma's here to help. Betty's here too, who wasn't before. And if he start birthing, why, only send down for me, and you know I'll come a-running, Mary darling." So she had smiled him away down toward the grain field, that great, dear, strong, hairy man whom she loved till her heart ached with the sweetness of loving, that man who kept her from being as fearful as she might have been here in the wilds with a lesser man. She had not tried to explain to him this morning that it was not the birthing she feared, nor really was it anything else she could name. She had stood in the doorway and watched him join her brother Johnny Draper at the edge of the meadow, strong Johnny with his own scythe over his shoulder, and they both had turned to wave back at her as they disappeared, seemed to sink below the rippling grass at the brow of the meadow. They would have been working 4 hours in the barley by now, she reckoned, scarcely ever pausing, shirtless, pouring sweat, probably singing to give a cadence to the sweep of their scythes. She knew how they looked working, because she had always worked beside them. This was the first year she had not helped with the harvest. Her term was too close. But she could envision them as clearly as if she were down there. Those two were durable men, and could work all day long, even in this July sun. Her eye somehow went to William's long rifle, which lay across its 2 pegs on the far wall, beside the grandfather clock, a powder horn and bullet bag hanging under it, and again she felt the foreboding. Should not he have carried the gun down to the fields with him, as he had done in the first few years? Lately, he had simply dismissed it as extra weight. The Indians who had passed up and down through Draper's Meadows since their arrival here in 1748 had never annoyed them, nor given them cause for alarm. Usually they were parties from north of the distant Ohio River, going down to raid their enemies, the Catawbas, who lived farther south. For centuries, they had used the New River as their war road through the mountains. They had caves in its cliffs, and canoes secreted in its tributaries. But even in their war paint, they had always been friendly with this little vanguard of white families here in the valley. They would always drink spring water offered them in gourd dippers, smacking their lips and smiling, apparently trying to dispel any uneasiness their war-painted faces and their bristling weaponry might be causing. Sometimes they would take bread that was offered to them, eat it while nodding in appreciation, and then stand and raise their hands in a peaceful salute, and continue down the ridges. And then the white people who had remained hidden inside the cabins, with their flintlocks cocked, ready for the first unfriendly move, would ease forward the hammers of their guns and exhale in relief, hang up the guns, and come out to resume their work, or to watch the savages fade into the woods. Only twice had Indians caused any mischief in this valley. In 1749, when a band had raided the cabin of Adam Harmon to steal furs, and in 1753, when another party had stolen skins from George Hoopaw and Jacob Harmon and killed their barking dogs. Those were old and negligible incidents, so William Ingles had gotten out of the habit of taking his gun with him to the fields. "More sensible, I'd say, to leave it here for your peace of mind," he had joked to her once this summer. True, there was war in the land now.